Hey everyone, welcome to the Wilson Homestead. So today I want to take you for a walk around the perennial beds and give you an update on my annual containers. So let's start here in my perennial bed. This is a white balloon flower. And as you can see by this flower that isn't opened up yet, this is why it's called balloon flowers. Because they kind of look like a balloon before they open up into this. Very pretty plant. And then right above it, I have butterfly bush. And then over here in all of its glory, this is purple echinacea, also known as coneflower. This is one of my favorite plants because the blooms last so long and they're so big and so beautiful, and the bees love them. I have another echinacea right here. The bees really enjoy this plant. And right here, this is a hydrangea. I'm not sure which variety it is, but I have two of them, and they haven't bloomed for years. So I don't know if it's too cold in this zone for them or what's going on with these plants, but I'm going to give them, I think, one more season, and if they don't do anything, I'm going to pull them out and put something else in. And right here, this little plant, I believe it's called Calamintha. It's kind of like a miniature catmint plant. This is catmint. I can't really remember the variety. I think it might be Select Blue. But it is blooming and looks gorgeous. And the insects love this plant. You can see them all there pollinating the flowers, going about their day. This is a geranium, a perennial geranium, also known as cranesbill. Really pretty pink one. This is sneezeweed, also known as helenium. And I keep deadheading it so it'll put out more blooms. And this is either a peach or nectarine tree. I think it might be peach. But it's getting some pretty sizable fruits on it right now. They might be ready to pick pretty soon. This is a plant that I just bought last year. I've never grown it before. This is sea holly. Really interesting looking. This is my Purple Palace heuchera, and it has blooms on it now. They're not very significant. This plant is mostly grown for the foliage color, which is that bronzy reddish color, and I love it. And right next to it I have a blue fescue grass, which makes a nice contrast from that bronze color. And this is right in front of my obelisk. And inside the obelisk I planted some echinacea. And also I have a bunch of balloon flowers in there too. And right behind it I have a massive perennial hibiscus, a white one, which is in bloom now. Let me go to this side so I can show you the inside of one of these flowers. Isn't that gorgeous? This is my purple balloon flower, and it's actually a double one. Really pretty plant. I love this one. And I keep deadheading these so that they'll bloom longer. I also have another butterfly bush on this side in front of the obelisk. And I wanted to give you a close-up of the flowers on this. Let me hold it still. They start opening up at the bottom and then slowly go to the top. And once most of them are spent, you're going to want to deadhead this plant, because if you don't, it will seed everywhere. This is white phlox. Another really pretty plant. This is the planters that I put beside of my swing set. Remember, I told you that I put some vining plants in there hoping that they would climb clear over the swing set. And let me get closer here. You can see that they are now to the top, so hopefully I can start training them over this bar here in the middle. The plants I have in here are black-eyed Susan vine, which has the big leaves, and cypress vine, which has leaves like this. And you can see here I have some flowers on the cypress vine getting ready to open up. And here are some black-eyed Susan flowers. This is my planter by the pool, and I put some nasturtiums in there, and they're finally blooming. This is a planter that I have on my back porch. I put some impatiens in there and some caladiums and some creeping jenny down at the bottom. But those impatiens are very happy right now. These are the planters right in front of my basement door. I have coleus, canna lily in the middle, that big tall leaf. And down here in this front planter is my favorite coleus. And they usually put out blooms, and I try to keep those all pinched off because I do not want them to bloom. I'm just growing these for foliage. And in front of them I have some really beautiful New Guinea impatiens, a red coleus, some more New Guinea impatiens, and then spilling over the front here are some trailing snapdragons. I think I have some pictures of this saved from the beginning of the season, so I'm going to flash that up now so you can see the difference of beginning of season to nearing the end of the season. Now it looks like this. Have some more trailing snapdragons in this planter too. I've always been drawn to this plant. I was always fascinated with this plant when I was little. And this is the reason. Because they can talk to you. Hello, YouTube. But I also have some really gorgeous New Guinea impatiens in there. And a really pretty coleus here in the back. And one in the front. Okay, let's take a look at the early season picture of this planter. And now here we are at the end of July, and everything is looking gorgeous and full. So let me show you the before picture at the beginning of the season. And now at the end of July it looks like this. These are the two terracotta pots that I planted on my front porch. And I just want to show you what they looked like at the beginning of the season. Now they look like this. These are my front porch planters, and right now I'm going to show you a picture of what they looked like at the beginning of the season. And now they look like this here at the end of July. They have Wandering Jew plant in the front of them, and they have a Dracaena spike in the back. And I do have a little bit of a problem in here. I planted New Guinea impatiens and they are diseased now, so I think what I'm going to do is, since it's so late in the season now, is I'm going to pull these out and I'm going to take some cuttings of my coleus that are in front of the basement door and those planters, and I'm going to put them in place of these New Guinea impatiens because they are not doing well. But on the plus side, the Wandering Jew is doing wonderful here. And since this area gets a lot of shade, I think that I'm going to use this in hanging baskets for my front porch next year. Because it grows really well here. And you can see it's completely touching the porch right now. So this happened the other night. Remember my nice full sweet potato vine and Wandering Jew? I had a deer come to visit and pretty much ate everything. So I wanted to show you this. I'm so excited about this. This is my favorite house plant. I've done a video on this before. This is an orange tree. I got it in Florida when we went on vacation there. And I've had it, I would say, about 5 years, maybe. But anyway, I brought it outside for the summer. And the last time you saw it, it actually had oranges on it whenever it was indoors. And what I did was I took off all the oranges and I pruned it a little bit, and then I brought it outside and gave it some fertilizer, and now it is in bloom. I wish that you had smell-o-vision, because orange blooms are the best smell in the world. This is my little bicycle planter. I'm not sure if I ever showed you this yet, but anyway, I've got some impatiens in there, and in the back part of it I have a begonia that I saved from last year. This is my Gerber daisy. It went through about like 3 or 4 weeks where it didn't have any blooms on it at all, and I just kept giving it fertilizer once a week, and finally it's putting out some more blooms again. So happy. Remember the cuttings I took in a previous video? Well, here they are, and they are ready to be planted up. These are the Buddleia butterfly bush. This is the catmint, and only one of the Russian sage plants made it. And this one here is phlox, and it looks like every single one of them did okay. And then this one over here is Blue Queen Salvia, and two of them made it. So I'm pretty happy with that. This is my climbing petunia, and it has grown like crazy. I'm going to show you a picture at the beginning of the season. And now here we are in late July, and it looks like this. Okay, so on this climbing petunia, I like to try to keep it deadheaded, but I have missed a couple of the dead blooms, and I just want to show you what the seed heads are going to look like. There's one right here, and once they get brown, they pop open and the seeds start spilling out, but there's a bunch of them still in there. So I'm going to save these seeds for next year. Alright guys, I'm going to wrap up this video here. I'm so glad you joined me today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time here on the Wilson Homestead. Bye guys.